quick overall thoughts. TakeOver Saturday, 5:00 showtime. What did you think about the show?
I thought overall was good. What I expected from the show is what we got is just continuation of the champions. So they did crown a new champion, but that was a brand new, I guess technically a brand new championship, or not a brand new title, but a title they brought back.
Yes.
So, just keep the champions strong going to the bigger events, which, I totally forgot about Great American Bash, because I forgot last year they did Bash in July. So they're doing another Great American Bash network special, July 6th, it looks like, right? And then I believe there's an August takeover, which should be a bigger takeover. So I think, it kind of reminded me of In Your House of Old, right? Just a show that carry on.
Was there to extend storylines.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Okay, I 100% agree with what you said. But what made TakeOver so special in the past is that it was like their tentpole event, right? They had those 5 takeovers or how many ever they had. And they were the tentpole. They were like, okay, we're going to focus all of our storylines and we're going to play them out on this show. And that's not what this show was. And unfortunately, the last few times they've done takeovers, I think there's some of that has been missing. Now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on some of this stuff because there was a pandemic and things were different. On this show, here's what I hope. What I hope is that this takeover in your house is sort of the last takeover where we're just kind of like waiting for things to happen. And I hope from here on out, and actually, as I say that, it sounds like August is going to be back in the CWC, which kind of sucks because, that Brooklyn takeover, SummerSlam takeover was always that crowd was so jacked. So maybe it's not going to be, but I guess my point is I want these takeovers to be these tentpole events again. Yeah. Because this felt like it wasn't NXT TV, that you had the matches, you had the length, you had, some really good stuff, but it just felt at the end of that show, what we used to look forward to in takeovers was like, there's going to be a great main event. They're going to introduce somebody in the crowd that we're going to be able to talk about because we'll see them on NXT the next show. That stuff was missing. And again, this was probably a little bit of like kind of, on a treadmill a little bit with the takeover. But I'd hate to see the brand go to something where I'm just not jazzed for it for the entire day. And that's kind of what today was. But let's quickly go through it because I do think there was some fun stuff. And, I've mentioned before on our show that we do on Figure 4 Wrestling Observer, some of my favorite acts are Bronson Reed and Legado del Fantasma. And so I got both of these acts in this opener, and I really liked the opener. It's interesting. Did you hear what Triple H said about MSK? I think it was after TakeOver. Somebody asked him, it might have been Ryan Satan, who asked him about, their style and if something about changing their style or whatever. And he's like, no, I think the reason they like, what they like is we don't touch them. We just kind of enhance what they already do. Because this match was very much to that MSK style. Like, lots of run-ins on pinfalls, lots of outside dives coming in to break up pinfalls, including one that I don't think I ever seen before.
Yeah, that was awesome. That
oh my god,
breakup of the rampway. Yeah, that was awesome. And
and I think people will say, well, what's the difference between this and some of the Dynamite matches that you guys kind of maybe harp on a little bit? It's the fact that the referee is protected in all of these spots. But, I think the culmination, what they built to, and this is probably why this is my favorite match of the night, which is they built to one thing that the fans really wanted to see, that I wanted to see. You've mentioned this in the past, that it's the easiest, best move in professional wrestling. Bronson going to the top, hitting that big splash and winning the match, and fans go nuts. It was like really even if you don't like that style necessarily, what they built to was just perfect pro wrestling to me.
Yeah, I thought it was good when they did the winner take all stipulation. I knew the Bayfaces were going to go over because it's just way too soon to take the title off Bronson Reed and even MSK. I would like to see them hold the belts a little longer. Even though, gosh, I really enjoy Legado Fantasma, and I really want Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde to get those tag titles because there's just great talents. But what I liked about this match is you're right. Like, it's a big difference. Like when NXT does these matches and say AEW Dynamite, like the referee's not sitting there with his hands in his pockets or just giving up because there's all this action. Like you can still see some control with the referee, and it did get a little out of hand. Some stuff I was like, okay, it's a little too much. Like that double team move to the floor that MSK did, like a springboard. I don't even know what you call it, torture rack. It looked nuts, but I like that. I like the results because you still have some stuff left for Bronson Reed and Santos Escobar because Santos wasn't pinned. I love they reenacted the squishing of the Santos through the plexiglass, but this time they went through the wall. And
I mean, what are they going to do? Like, I'm sure, this is now a big spot. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a thing where the fans go crazy. They're waiting to see what happen.
I wouldn't do it all. Like, I wouldn't go through it often, but if he's going to splash, a guy against plexiglass, I hope they don't do the stunt every time. But what I like about it is that, Santos now has, he got squished. Santos all about pride. He's all about respect. And he got disrespected, right? He got squashed like a bug. So he's not only wants to win the championship, but I think he also wants to get revenge on Bronson Reed. And, shoot. And look, Joaquin Wilde or Raul Mendoza could take the fall. And Bronson also got to do his awesome big splash, which to me is the best move in wrestling today. And I thought it was a fun opener.
So they kept saying that this was the biggest crowd in CWC history. I thought saying it once was fine, but they constantly mentioned it, and all it reminded me of was there's not that many people there. So I don't know if I would have said that time and time again.
Maybe they're just excited. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I thought it was a little too much, but I think that's going to be going forward now is going to be that many people at the show, which would be better, right? I mean,
it was. I liked seeing the audience there.
Yeah, same
it looked
here.
Like the audience. I don't know if they were the best crowd that I've ever seen, but they were pretty good. The in your house stuff in of itself, they didn't overdo it. Pettengill was kind of goofy. He did the spot for that was specifically for Paul Fontaine about not understanding how they edit video packages nowadays and all
funny.
that stuff. That was good. I think this, like, I don't know where I sit with this in your house thing, because obviously the set is there. But I think they could either lean harder on some of the nostalgia, or just like not do it, because I don't see what the in your house thing adds other than it just creates a set and allows them to, to do some visuals and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what you can do within your house, because it came from such a time frame where WWF was not doing super well, but they had an idea that they thought was going to work, which was, we have these 5 pay-per-views, we'll add, 7 more, and we'll charge less, and then they'll be more like what Saturday Night Main Event used to be rather than what a pay-per-view is. And the original idea was they literally gave a house away on the pay-per-view. So I don't know. This is one that unless you go heavy into the nostalgia, I might switch it out for something like Halloween Havoc. Well, they do Halloween Havoc, but Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc, one of those, instead of doing it on the NXT show. Just if you want to do those nostalgia takeovers, I know they didn't create Halloween Havoc and Great American Bash, so that might be a thing, but I don't know. I would either like to see them go harder into it, or just let's bring it to the year 2015 at least.
Yeah, I thought they did. I think it's just the fun nostalgia theme, just like you said, Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc, but this is like their creation.
King of the Ring. Maybe they can bring the King of the Ring back.
No, man, I want them to bring back Battable. That's what I've been talking.
There you go.
Talking about that for
that one.
Yeah, I'm calling for good old Battable to come back. But yeah, no, to me, I'm fine with it. I thought Todd Pettingill's great. Still looks young, still looks the same other than that goatee he has. I think he got from me. But
so did you see his explanation as to why he wasn't working in WWE anymore?
No, what'd he say?
So I guess
Vince was torturing him.
Well, no, his regular gig was a radio gig,
yeah,
and that was his regular job, and he was having to use a lot of his time off to go back and forth to do stuff for WWE, and the wife was just like, we haven't taken a vacation in 5 years, and so then I think that's when he decided to stop. I mean, that's what he said. I'm sure that's partially what he remembers to be the thing. It could have been other stuff though, like you said, Vince yelling at him or whatever.
I actually think it's what he said. I think that sounds. I mean, if he still had that radio job and doing that, and that must be nuts for the family. So I could see. I'm sure he has young kids at the time too. That might have been played a part into it too. So But I like seeing him. I actually thought the spot, like you're talking about with the videotape, he forgot, he's trying, run the tape to the truck. And they're like, we can just quickly, Mackenzie was great in that spot, and we work with him and stuff. It was like, that was like good levity, right? From wrestling.
Yeah,
that was like
fun.
That's
totally fun.
That's where I like it. Not in my matches as much.
And it's so funny because when you go back to, 95, 96, 97, he was the young dude who was like the hip guy. He was corny. Like he still did corny stuff, but he was kind of, on the younger side of the announcing team. So now it's kind of funny to see him as the old guy. That was, I like him. I would totally love to see him come back because he's just a familiar face from back in the day.
I think it was like a huge star in the back too. Like people were, because all those guys, you got to think about those. They were young kids, right? So he was the king of the ball, I guess, apparently. So.
All right, so Xylee beat Mercedes Martinez. I didn't really like this match. I didn't like the aftermath with, I always forget the old lady's name.
Oh, Mai Ying, right?
Yeah. I didn't like that.
I keep
part
saying Tian Sha too. That's the group's name. yeah.
And the reason I didn't like it is because Xylee wins this match and she's completely overshadowed by the angle after. It was just there. It was kind of what we thought it was going to be, which was an NXT TV match. Mercedes, she loses the match. Xylee grabs a chair. She wants to beat her up some more. It's like an apprehensive thing, though. It's not like she really wants to, but she feels like she has to. Mercedes got the chair from her, was beating her with the chair, and then she went to the outside and saw the old lady, and the old lady did. The old lady was like just does like a force choke almost.
No, it's the Ming choke.
The Ming choke.
Yeah, that's her finisher, whatever the Tongan death grip, right? That's what it's called.
So and Mercedes was she broke free once with the chair, jabbed the chair into her stomach, and then she went to hit her again and got choked out again. So I don't know. I could have done without it. I know why they put it on here. There's a lot of production involved. They've really invested into this character, and I get it. I didn't like it. Anytime they do this sci-fi stuff or this kind of outside the norm, like, I know you're not watching, but the Bray Wyatt stuff or the Alexis Bliss stuff, it's just a 100% fail for me. So this is not that bad, but it sort of makes me remember that stuff.
Yeah, this match here, this is where I kind of lost focus on the show and concentrated on something else, and I kind of got back in it towards the end, and I personally was happy to see the Mai Ying character do something because I've been waiting for that for a while now. So if we're moving on to her actually making a debut in the ring, I assume versus Mercedes Martinez, which seems to be natural, the natural for her debut, I was okay with it. But yeah, I didn't get the chance to see the full match. What I saw, I thought was fine, but maybe because I'm not in this program that much, I wasn't, focused too. But I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it, or is it even worth my time? You think, or probably not?
No. I mean, it was the whole match is just built for that aftermath.
Yeah. Well, so. She is the Mayan character. That's what the group is built around, right? So,
and is that Karen Q?
I believe so. Yeah,
in the costume.
I think so. Yeah, because
that's what Google thinks it is.
That's who I was thinking, because she's signed, but we haven't seen her do anything yet, right? So I'm guessing that could be her.
All right, so LA Knight and Cameron Grimes for the $1 Million Man, the $1 Million title ladder match. There was a gigantic gold ladder that was used. I will say, I wasn't really a fan of the beginning of this match, but in saying that, I'm gonna contradict myself. I think I would have preferred it not being a ladder match, just because of some of the bumps that these guys took and some of the crazy stuff that they did. Third match on the card. I know they're trying to kind of step out from where they are and obviously go higher on the totem pole. But some of this stuff was like, oh man, it was really risky. And I think that they are good enough storytellers. I don't know if I'd consider Eli Drake a really good wrestler, but I think they both know their characters very well. So that being said, I thought the last half of the match was a hell of a match, and I don't know. I feel like such a hypocrite really liking that the second half, because that's when they did all the crazy nutty stuff. Mm-hmm. But they did it well. This wasn't a match where I was like, okay, it's not like this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It was more like, you guys are doing this stuff and it's really not a super important match on this card. But again, I liked it. I think Cameron Grimes is, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd put him in the world title picture immediately, but he's got something that I would say is missing from a lot of that roster when it comes to standing out. I thought his character was awesome. I thought his charisma was awesome in this match. I thought I was pulling for him to win this match, and I don't care, right? I don't really care who wins. I'm just sort of, seeing where they go next. But he pulled me in, and man, I thought he was awesome in this match. That being said, God, they did some dangerous stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these ladder matches. Cool when I was younger, and I was like, wow, this is great. Now it's like.
But when we were younger, there was one kind of dangerous spot, not a match built around 10.
Yeah, exactly. And especially for us, we this in 2021, I mean, on the NXT brand, we already saw one last takeover. So seeing another one, I liked the match, but I think when you say you didn't like the beginning but the end, I think that's because the match was too long.
Yeah, it's possible.
That's what I was thinking. I felt it was past its peak at a certain point, or they should have got to the bigger stuff earlier. They could have cut it down a little bit, but I guess because there's not many matches on the card, and there's longer matches on this card, I guess. But just cut it down. I think would have been better. I thought everyone did great. I thought the booking was good. I thought, because I think Cameron Grimes he's popular. He doesn't need the championship. The fans are going to like him. He's so charismatic and such a great wrestler at the same time. He has it all. And LA Knight needed a little something, right, for him. So I think the $1 Million Championship just works perfect for LA Knight, and he can be cocky and arrogant and everything that he is for that character. I think that plays perfectly with that championship. And I think Cameron Grimes is going to be a great babyface. I think he's a North American champion in the future for sure. The NXT Heavyweight Championship, it all depends how hot he really does get, or how it feels, and if you're ready to do that with him. But I think for sure, like if he gets a big championship match down the line, and like at the, I think people will be really into it because he delivers in the ring and he delivers outside. He's an amazing talent.
So the next match was Ember Moon and Raquel Gonzalez, and I was not looking forward to this match. I thought the match was okay.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with this match is not once that I think Ember is going to win, which, that's partially the booking of her being built for this contender spot. And this is kind of a harsh thing, but this was literally what I was doing, which is, as this match is going on, I'm like, oh, that was kind of cool. Oh, they're getting into that the stunner spot, and that's kind of creative. I was just looking at the clock, going like, okay, they got to be really close to the finish here. Let's get a move on. And for that belt, for that women's title, we've had so many great matches. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't. This wasn't one of those matches where the women's match is on par with the men's main event and sometimes eclipses the men's main event. That was not what this match was.
Yeah, I thought this match was okay. Like you, I wasn't the fact that I didn't think she was going to win or whatever. I mean, I know that Raquel's going to retain here, and that's fine. It's just I think Ember is pretty overrated. When it like that stuff in the beginning with them, like. It felt very like A, B, C, D stuff, like, memorizing stuff. And like just when she would move to the corner, it was like I felt like she was like walking or getting position instead of like, like working and trying to make me believe. And that's what was really bugging me. And I thought Raquel did good. I thought the finish was good. I mean, that was cool how she picked her up and turned her into her Chigona bomb. Is that what I saw that they had it on the little list there. I thought that was a cool finish, but Ember just doesn't, for me, I don't know. I just don't connect with her. I think she'd be a great heel. I think she's a natural heel personally, but I just did not connect with her in this match, and I just thought their chemistry wasn't the best. I don't know. I just thought it was like you said, okay, and I think that's the perfect way to say. But to my daughter, Chloe, she was, she wanted Ember to win because she asked me right away, "Who's the good girl, who's the bad girl?" But then she kept like, I think she really wanted to cheer Raquel because she was more like impressed with her because she's like, wait, she's not the good girl, like like she's
yeah.
And I was like, no, she's the bad girl, and that's but she knows Dakota, so she's like, wait a minute, but Dakota's with her, and she has the action figures, so she was a little bummed that Ember didn't win, but not as much as like Rhea Ripley losing, right? It was like not that big a deal to her, like okay, she lost, but I think she secretly really wanted to cheer on Raquel Gonzalez.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah. I was just hoping a good match, and like you said, it was okay. I just thought it, let's see what happens. Well, the good thing is though, Raquel's moving on, right? So
yep. They need a contender for her though. I mean, maybe it's going to be EO because they did the little stare down thing.
EO might be first, Saray down the line, right?
Saray, yeah. So we'll see because she's very strong right now, and I think we're going to have programs where people are.
Oh, and Dakota. We got
well, that's the one that hopefully they build into.
But yeah,
I want to see.
Not now, but teasing.
Okay, so main event, the 5-way, Karrion Kross submitted Kyle O'Reilly to win the match. So just so you know, the LA Knight match was just under 20 minutes. It was like 19 and a half. That was the second longest match. Main event was almost 27 minutes.
I would have kept that ladder match like 15.
So Kyle O'Reilly had what do you have? Adam Cole in some submission,
like a leg lock or something.
Yeah, and then Kross snuck behind O'Reilly as O'Reilly had Cole in the submission, and sort of the announcers were trying to tease like, okay, who's gonna submit first? Kyle's got to hold on. Because if he can hold on, maybe Adam Cole taps and he actually wins the match, which would kind of been silly, but so he goes to sleep and the match is over and Kross wins. I thought they were going to try to book him a little bit more like how they would book Brock Lesnar in a match like this, which is, everyone's so scared of Brock. And it's like, oh, we got to like quadruple team Brock. And then Brock can still, get the offense because he's just such a badass. And then they finally quadruple team him and they just knock him out of the match so that they can do stuff. And they kind of did that. There was a thing where they power bombed him onto the table, but the table didn't break. Cool. But I don't know. There were moments where he was kind of like in peril, but his kick out wasn't dramatic, and I was just like, okay, like he's not even selling the urgency or the immediacy of possibly losing. And that might just be the fact that Brock Lesnar is just a damn good seller as to how Brock can do that. And so I was just like, I wanted to be invested into this match. I wanted to really, see what they were going to have, but it was almost like, I kind of knew, and it wasn't because I just sat there and was like, well, Cross is going to win and this is what's going to happen. Just as you're watching the match, you kind of go like, okay, I think I know how this is going to end. And when it's the heel who is the person who he's going to win the match, I think you need to do some more dramatic things so that I do get that one moment during the Brock Lesnar match where I'm like, oh shit, Daniel Bryan's going to pin this dude? What? And that didn't exist in this match for me at all.
Yeah, I like this match. It took me a while to get into it though, just because like, as you know, I talk about this with you all the time. We talk about multi-man matches.
Yeah. Just
the old, two guys in there at the same time, and then the next guy comes in, right? And I feel bad, like, kind of be harping on it, but at the same time, I get what they're doing. The story is, against all odds for Karrion Kross, right?
Yep.
So that's why you do the quick Gargano first, Pete Dunne, each guy at a time to get that over. That's the story of the match. But it, eventually it did grab me because I thought Pete Dunne was the MVP of this match. He was like in everything. And took some nasty, scary bumps. Like I thought for sure that super kick looked so good that when he did that flip off the top rope, like Daniel Bryan got the double super kick, like that looked so good. And the way he turned his head, and they don't slow mo the replay where it's like they slow mo the whole thing so you can't see where it connected, but like God, it looked freaking nasty. And then like the double dragon suplex, he's in the middle of that, and that chokehold, he's like on the bottom, so it looks like he's really digging into his neck. And I'm like, man, that looks really tight, man. Hurry up, Kyle, break it up, right? So he was fantastic. They all were really good. They worked hard. This was not about the wrestling in a sense. Maybe it was to an extent for Cross for me, but I just didn't think the match was all that creative to give me that false, that false finish that I can really believe in. It just wasn't like there was none of that there for me. Yeah, for me, yes, I knew Cross is going to retain here. I was trying to, my thing I was trying to guess like who's going to take the fall. And I thought the finish was really creative. Personally, I thought,
would you have had O'Reilly be the one to take the fall?
My first instinct's no, but then that's a good, like they told a good story. Like I was like, wow, that's something I want to put my, if I was going to do a multi-man match or something like that, I'm going to put this finish in my, my book, my finished book. Because like, I really thought it didn't hurt Kyle. Cause that issue with Cole and O'Reilly is, still there. And they still have a bit, and when he had his chance to lock on that submission and break that guy's ankle, and not only break his ankle but also win the match, he's just so focused. He lost track of where he's at, and he lost focus on who's still behind him, even though he was down. And then Cross popped up, locked a choke on. I just thought that was really well done. So to me, like everyone came out like looking good. No one lost anything out of this match, which I think that's a great win. So I love the creativity of the finish. I thought that was really well done. So, and what'd you think about the end? I was curious about your thoughts.
The Regal thing? Yeah. So Regal is essentially saying that there needs to be a change, and that kind of makes sense as to why he's been on like the last two shows. He's been on it a lot, getting pissed off, like
overwhelmed.
Yeah, old man screaming at the kids on his lawn, and yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess are they going to debut a new authoritarian character?
That's my guess. I don't know who. I'm trying to think anyone they have that would be that person. I don't know, but I'm guessing it's going to be a new, a hard as nails, Mace Ken Shamrock. He like bully, so he's going to be.
As we transition to our 1997 Raw review. Okay, so the TakeOver. I wouldn't say this is one where, and it's like just based on you kind of watch this stuff on Twitter and you kind of see who's watching and who's not watching. I didn't sense that this was the one where everyone was watching live. So I would say, that there's some good stuff on it. And especially if you like certain acts, like I was really happy with the opener. And like I said, that, I was kind of up and down on that ladder match, but I was just really impressed with Cameron Grimes. And then that's the stuff that I was kind of interested in. So